Hey, good afternoon. I wanted to spend a few minutes this afternoon talking about the idea or the concept or the theory of our values. What is it that we value and where do our values come from? $20 bill. It's my understanding that this piece of paper costs about 50 cents to create. The energy and time and resources to put into it are cost less than $1, half a dollar to create. But we give a value of 20 US dollars to this piece of paper. And there's a guarantee in our government of that $20 being valid wherever it's spent in the United States. We define what the value is for our group of our community and our country so that we can use that to trade it for other things of equal value. We've decided on that on an arbitrary basis. And our values, our internal values, end up being a lot like that. We prescribe value to certain things, and our value system is usually unique to who we are. And we can decide as a community or a country what our values are around specific topics about laws, how we treat other people in terms of what needs to be punished for ethics and morals. But our values end up being a personal thing that we filter all of our reality through. And rarely do we ever take the time to take a look at what we see our values are and how we define them. And the idea of a value is usually a broad, kind of amorphous thing that is typically difficult to define. So trust and loyalty and independence and freedom and fun and love can all be examples of values that we each hold, but they're difficult to define. And by being difficult to define, it also makes them difficult to see of how we filter our actions and thoughts and beliefs through them. You can go on Google and Google list of values and come up with lists of 50, 500, 100. There are even varying degrees of defining what values are and just a list of words. It would be difficult to go through and decide what are some of your top values. It might be worth looking at that just to see how is it that those things are influencing how you act on a daily basis. The reverse of knowing what our values are is then becomes frequently when we have conflict or unsettledness or strife in our life, we are not getting our values met. And that conflict creates tension that we have to reconcile. What is the value of knowing our values then? It allows us to see the filters that we're engaging in the world with. If my value of honesty is not being met, or I feel like someone isn't being honest with me, or I'm not being honest, that creates a specific result in how I appear in the world. Understanding that might help me figure out how to engage with people more honestly, or to determine whether someone is being honest with me. And that's just one example of thousands upon thousands of scenarios that could happen where we might have some disconnect in our daily life. My request from you is to take some time, find that list of values, figure out what are some of the ones that are the top ones for you. It might require a discussion with someone in order to figure out how to define a specific value for yourself. Start to take a look at where they appear in your life and where they might not be getting met, and what little changes can be made to increase the value of your daily life. Thank you for your time this afternoon. I'm John Rhoads, and as always, I hope that you're able to find purpose and meaning in your day today.